Former CT Sun CEO on team's time in Connecticut We did a lot to keep the WNBA in the game. On December 30th, 2002, Mitchell Etess had his first meeting with the WNBA about moving the Orlando Miracle to Connecticut. Less than a month later, Etess, then the executive vice president of marketing at the Mohegan Sun, watched as the announcement was made that the Orlando team would move to the casino and become the Connecticut Sun. I remember standing in the back of the arena with Paul Munich, the Mohegan Sun Vice President of Sports and Entertainment, and Chris Cienko, Director of Sports and Entertainment, and we were like, okay, now what do we do? Etess said. It was like the movie, The Candidate, with Robert Redford. He finally wins the election at the end. He says something like that. Etess was one of the main forces that helped bring the WNBA team to the state, so he's a little saddened by the news that the team could potentially move to Boston. Although the league has not signed off on the $325 million deal reported by the Boston Globe Saturday, and a Hartford-based group led by billionaire Mark Lazary is reportedly interested in trying to keep the team in state. The sale and the move must be approved by the WNBA and its board of governors, and neither Hartford or Boston applied for an expansion franchise, so there is a possibility that the Sun could be moved to one of the 9 cities that did. I've been thinking about it. Since the sale was more formally announced, it has hit me more emotionally, no doubt about it, said Etess, the former CEO of the Mohegan Tribal Gaming Authority. But conversely, to have been part of bringing a team here and see it being sold for so much money, more than the expansion teams, for the reports, it's a really good feeling that kind of counteracts the sadness. What to know about billionaire investor Mark Lazary's bid to bring Connecticut Sun to Hartford? The Sun was Etess' baby. He had basketball-playing daughters and was interested in the game at a time when interest in the Yukon women, who had won 3 of the last 4 NCAA championships between 2000 to 2003, had reached a fever pitch in the state. The Mohegan Sun had an arena but no sports team. Women's basketball was popular here, and it would help us become more settled in the community and the state, Etess said. It's good programming in the arena. Women's basketball was a lot cheaper than having Bon Jovi. It was a source of pride for the tribe that they could buy a professional sports team. There was a business case for it. Since the inception of the league, there was a cry for a team to be located in Connecticut. At the time, the WNBA would only allow teams to be placed in NBA arenas in NBA cities. But in the fall of 2002, with some teams struggling financially, the league's board of governors voted to open up ownership to outside sources. Jody Rell, then Connecticut's lieutenant governor, was interested in bringing a team to Hartford. Various groups of investors, including one led by LAZ Parking chairman Alan Lazowski and another led by Apple Healthcare CEO Brian Foley, were interested in putting the team in the then Hartford Civic Center. But there was concern about having a team up and running in only 5 months. The Mohegan Sun, however, had all the infrastructure in place, including a marketing team, and Cienko, who had served as the general manager of the New England Blizzard, the ABL team that played in Hartford until that league went bankrupt in the winter of 1998. The WNBA wanted a team ready to go in the summer of 2003, but there was some trepidation about the team playing in a casino. Etess, who was given unanimous approval from the Mohegan Tribal Council to pursue a team, said it took a while for the WNBA to respond to his queries. Eventually, he said NBA Commissioner David Stern called him and told him the league wanted the team in Hartford, but if that didn't work out, Uncasville would be considered. The deal was worked out, and on January 21st, the WNBA announced the Miracle, with former Yukon star Nike Shaw Sales, was coming to Connecticut. The tribe paid $10 million for the team. Chris knew what he was doing. He had the ABL team in Hartford, Etess said. But it takes more time than 5 months. It wasn't even 5 months. It takes more than that to get a team up and running with some momentum.